What is Tettles video? New affixes, or wait, Mythic Plus and Heroic Raid gearing gets much worse in the War Within. How is Heroic Raid? Wait, did they drop Heroic Raid upgrade track? Does Heroic Raid not drop whatever the thing is right below the Mythic track? That would be crazy. It's about the difference between Heroic and Mythic being 13 eye levels now. Alright, we'll watch it.
So I'm sitting here on the beta, looking at the dungeon journal. Been asked many times.
Alright, let's just look at it.
Tettles, are you not reading in War Within? No, I don't need to. Dragonflight was fine. And then I came to the realization that Blizzard fucking hates Mythic Plus players.
What a fucking banger start. What an absolute banger.
Because I've now realized that Blizzard has now made the myth track gearing 6 out of 6 as opposed to out of 4, like it was in Dragonflight. And so let me kind of show you guys the implications. So I had to map this out. And I went and did Dragonflight Season 4. I did the entire thing because
Okay, fuck. He did Season 4, which sucks for me because none of this is going to mean anything to me. I wish he used Season 3 eye levels.
Because there was charts on it online, so it was pretty easy to track. You know, 535 was very rare items. Crafted gear ends at 3 out of 4 myth. Mythic Raid starts at, 519 item level. Heroic goes to 6 out of 6 hero, which is 2 out of 4 myth. Now, 6 out of 6 hero still going to 2 out of 4 myth. That's going to be at 626 item level. That's standard. Myth track ending at 623, or starting at 623. That makes sense. The vault, you also still start getting vault gear. You get myth 1 out of the vault now instead of myth 2 that you would get previously.
Oh, wow. You actually need straight up 10s for the Great Vault now.
Now it's that 620.
Damn, so Mythic Plusers, if you purely Mythic Plus and don't raid, you're going to have to... You're only going to get, like, basically 1 Mythic piece per week. And it's going to start at Mythic 1. Yeah, but I mean, like, the intention of the game is that you're weaving and doing both, right? Like, if you want to raid, you need to Mythic Plus. And if you want to Mythic Plus, they want you to raid. So, like, yeah, I mean, if you're someone who just wants to raid, or if you're someone who just wants to Mythic Plus, which has... They have been trying to push you away from that for years, you're going to continue to be mad, yeah.
23 item level gear. So now we're getting myth 1 out of the vault. Not a big deal.
But wasn't that the same as before? I guess if you did high enough keys before, you got, like... You could save a few aspect crests because you would get it. It would drop 3 eye levels higher.
Whenever I saw this post earlier, that was talking.
But so far, this isn't Blizzard hates Mythic Plus players. This is like pretty similar to how it was before, I guess.
So now we're getting myth 1 out of the vault. Not a big deal. Whenever I saw this post earlier that was talking about, the expansion cadence for like M plus and stuff like that opening up, I was like, okay, maybe it's a little bit weird. And so then this is why I actually started looking into this, is because I recognized that this was going to be myth 1. So, and then I recognized that there were 6 tracks on the myth slot, and also recognized that crafted gear only gets crafted all the way up to 629 item level. So now, instead of playing down, if you're just an M plus only player, a lot of your gear would actually have been 522 for an extended period of time, meaning that you would only be playing down 6 item levels over people that had 4 out of 4 myth in those slots. But now, instead, you're going to be playing down 13 item levels, which is, in my opinion, unacceptable, because basically now every single piece of gear that you're going to be wearing is the very rare equivalent, as opposed to just like the normal 4 out of 4 myth equivalent. And
I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's weird because didn't Blizzard spend all of Dragonflight kind of giving Mythic Plusers more and more rewards? Like, I think Dragonflight was like the closest a pure Mythic Pluser could ever get to like someone who purely does raid, I guess. And now I guess they're walking that back, if this is intentional at least. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, everyone I know that raids Mythic Pluses, Blizzard's probably like, hey, if you want to have the best gear for Mythic Plus, you're going to also have to do the one time you can loot a week raid, and that's just kind of how the game's always been. It's probably going to continue to do that. I mean, that's kind of how it probably is always going to be.
With the crafted gear is just going to be significantly worse relative to max item level gear. And this is really bad because for Mythic Plus...
Max, you need 1,000 plus Aspect Crest to upgrade your gear. Yeah, I mean, they probably want to extend the duration at which you feel upgrades. And that's not purely a, like... Well, what is, like, people always say that, like, really bad take that people... It's like they're extending playtime metrics for shareholders. That's, like, one of the most made-up things ever. Like, it turns out that, like... you play a game for fun, but like it can add a little bit of extra fun when you're playing it and you're also feeling some kind of reward, right? So like logging in and doing 4 Mythic Plus dungeons, you might enjoy doing those 4 Mythic Plus dungeons, but while you're also pushing up bars on your character, and what that can mean is increasing your reputation or increasing your eye level or increasing your power in some way, you're like, that's how MMOs grab you. That's how RPGs grab you, because you're doing multiple progression things at once and you feel like you're like progressing, right? That's the feeling. One of the issues with the upgrade system is if you go really hard at the beginning, you stop progressing like pretty soon into the season. So adding more upgrade tracks for Mythic, I don't think is bad. Like if you're looking down the barrel of the total amount of aspect things, if you're playing your main, it's just there's going to be more weeks when you're playing the game and you feel like you're getting stronger, which I think is better for everyone. The really bad part of it, which is already a huge issue in the game, is how it's going to feel to play an alt that's behind. That's already something that's like super dog shit. And maybe they can fix that with like warbound crests and some shit like that, hopefully, since like the game should be more account wide now. But like you get done in these seasons within like 5 or 6 weeks, basically. Your character's like fully done. This is basically just gonna extend that for like 3 or 4 weeks. And I think most people playing their main, that gameplay loop is going to keep them playing the patch longer, but having more fun when they're playing. Like, not keeping you playing the game like, oh, Blizzard's forcing me to play. Like you're gonna be doing the same content you would already be doing, but you're gonna feel like your character's progressing. That sounds good to me. Adding more upgrade paths. I don't know exactly what the sweet spot is, because like let's just say there's 20 Mythic upgrade tracks. Is that too much where it takes 6 months to get fully geared? That sounds awful, right? There's some middle ground there where I think it being better, more than 4 is good. What is it? 5 to 6 weeks is a stretch. If you did only Mythic Plus in Season 4, it took you 8 to 9 weeks. Yeah, but we're not talking about only doing Mythic Plus. Guys, if you're only doing Raid or only doing Mythic Plus, you're going to be significantly less geared than everyone else. That's been the case always. That will always continue to be the case. The best way to gear in PvE is to do both of them. That's never going to change. I also don't think that's bad. Let's see. In Season 4, I maxed my character's gear and immediately lost all motivation to keep playing them. Yeah, well, not all people are like that. There are some people, like JB types, that wish there wasn't any gear. They wish they had just logged in day one, they had max eye level for the patch, and they just queued content just to play. That is an extremely small subsection of players, right? An unbelievably small. Most people enjoy the content, but they also really enjoy themselves progressing their character in multiple ways, and they're using the content to do that. And then the content, it's great that the content is fun, but like actually why you're playing is to like improve your guy. By giving you more ways to gear your guy, giving you more weeks to play the game where you're playing it because you enjoy it, but you're also making your guy better, is going to increase most people's enjoyment of the game.
Only players, basically the only way that you can get myth track level gear is via the vault. As you may know, this is pretty...
Wasn't that the same as last expansion? Isn't the only way to get Mythic Plus gear from the vault? Okay, let's try to theorize. Let's just try to be fair for a second. Is there, like, in the current way that Mythic Plus works, is there any other way you should be able to get Mythic Plus gear from, or Mythic track gear from Mythic Plus on an infinitely farmable thing? Like should Mythic track gear drop out of 15s? Like, no. Like, obviously not. Maybe like once a week or something you can get an extra one, like doubling the amount or something like that, because that would benefit everyone. Like, because think about it, right? Like gearing for, like, he just mentioned this earlier, he pulled it up on stream. There's like a list somewhere. He dragged it down. Was it before this? Oh yeah, here we go. So like how much gear you get, right? Like gear only goes to Hero Track 2 and it's in a plus 10, and then gearing stops. But is a plus 15 harder than a plus 10? Yes. So why doesn't plus 15 drop Hero Track 3 or Hero Track 4 or Mythic Track 1 or whatever, right? I don't think any level of Mythic Plus should repeatedly drop Mythic Track gear. I think that's a problem. But I don't know. I could see like Mythic Plus players being able to get, and raiders be able to get a great vault from Mythic Plus Mythic Track piece. But then also once a week you can get one more Mythic Track item, and it can just like randomly drop out of a 15 or something. Like if you're doing a 15, you can randomly get a piece on Mythic Track, and then like that's your one piece of the week that's gonna drop natty, and then it can't drop again. I'd be okay with that. Just like a little something like that. That would double the amount of of mythic track items that pure mythic plusters can get while also being a chase item for raiders. I'm trying to think of the downside of that. Oh, sorry, we have raid leaders, so I need to run 15s, which I normally don't like doing, and I just have to spam 15s to hope I get an extra mythic track piece. Oh wait, I got some like shitty trinket, and now I'm mad. And now I'm mad. I guess that's kind of like Great Vault, though. Sometimes you can just get a bad piece. But I don't know. I think most of this you're going to hear is just pure Mythic Plusers. This has happened for years where it's like pure Mythic Plusers are just going to complain that they can't only Mythic Plus to get all the gear in the game. But that's just like, I just think that's fucking whining, man. Like, I think, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be arguing and you don't deserve like more than whatever you get, right? But I don't know, like Raiders... Like, Raiders don't get to just raid and not do Mythic Plus. Like, if you just raid and don't do Mythic Plus, your gear's going to be dog shit. It's probably going to be the same way both ways around. I don't foresee a world where Blizzard's ever going to fully separate them. This is just what it is. I don't know. You just have to do it. I think another thing that is important, too, is they're nerfing crafted gear, right? I wonder how that feels. So, like, crafted gear, this Season 3 and Season 4 was 3 eye levels below what a like, very rare item was potentially. So like in a lot of cases it would still be best to get that non-crafted piece because it would have a little bit more stats, but you'd have to get one with the right secondaries on it. But it did feel kind of weird, especially like early in season, was it Season 2 where like almost your entire gear was crafted? Like that just felt like crafting had too much of an impact. And then it was like Season 3, I think they made it a little bit less weird somehow. But in general, I like crafting gear being relevant as long as it's not your entire loadout. But I don't know how I feel about it being... What is crafted gear going to be? 3, 6, 9. Crafted gear is going to be 9 eye levels below max eye level non-very rare? Or 10? Something like 9 or 10, one of those two. That is a... What a fucking take in chat. Mythic Raid is miserable and unapproachable. Mythic Plus is more popular and far more approachable, so Mythic Plus should give more rewards. Mythic Raiders should just have a tournament realm for the 80 people that do the race. Yeah, this is an unbiased take, by the way. This is this person trying to understand all sides, not just their own, for sure. That should be a mod, actually. Just fucking rip it. Dude, I love when people just say shit. It goes crazy when someone just like, they don't even like read it. They're just like, I'm gonna fucking rip this. Don't do Mythic Raid. I do Heroic Mythic Plus, and I love the balance. It does suck a bit, sure, but who cares? It's a fun game with fun times. Fuck yeah. Woo, everything's fun. I mean, yeah, if you want the best gear, you're going to have to do both. The question is, should the gap be bigger than it was before? Mythic Pluses would tell you no. Someone who's going to purely raid would probably tell you, make it as big as possible, I guess. That would just be purely biased. So someone who does both... I know there's one thing that Blizzard was concerned with last expansion. It was that at least, I don't know about Mythic Raid eye level, but I know Heroic Raid eye level felt irrelevant. Like, Heroic Raid just felt completely trivial. Like, why would you do Heroic Raid? And I know they like to have, like, they want you to have a reason to do everything. And I think there should be a reason to do, well, most things of relevant content. Like, you shouldn't feel like you need to do LFR or normal if you're, like, past that, right? But, like, Heroic just felt like something that wasn't, like, with the way rewards worked, it just felt like Heroic didn't have a place. And maybe this is because of that. Like, we're looking at the Mythic side of it, but I wonder if Heroic, if they want to make Heroic more relevant. No, I think it would still be the same. Like, the fact that you can get Hero Track Gear and Mythic Plus still, right? Isn't that still the case? He showed it earlier on his stream. Was it right? Tettles. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, you can, bro, starting from a +7, you can just farm Hero Track Gear. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, the actual gear from Mythic Plus makes, like, infinitely farmable Mythic Plus makes Heroic Raids still irrelevant, really. So, this is, like, kind of purely a Mythic Raid change. Max, what do you plan to do on pre-patch? Dude, honestly, I'm gonna, like, log in. I'm going to log into my monk for the first time in like 2 seasons. I'm going to make my new talent tree. I'm just going to feel some shit out. And then I'm going to do one thing and then log off, I think. Actually, I don't know. The thing is, I haven't played in Season 4. Apparently the, you can get like really good gear for the expansion in pre-patch. Because I know a lot of our guildies were thinking about leveling their characters for the expansion and like doing heroic splits. But they were like, there's no reason to because the gear you're going to get in pre-patch is just better. So that's the word on the street I heard. So that's next week. Oh, it's in 1 week from now. Ah, shit. You don't have the Season 4 KSM mount? I have not done a single dungeon, raid, or any content in Season 4. First season, I haven't done that in 10 years. More than 10 years. It's been Firelands. Since Firelands, there's never been a patch where I haven't played until Season 4 of this expansion, which is kind of crazy. I'm not even over the game either. I still love playing WoW. I probably played more in, was it Season 3? That was probably my most played season in like a year or two. Because I just loved DH so much. But, I mean, Season 4 is just... You're just not going to get me out of bed with old content. Old dungeons, old raids. Fucking get me the fuck out of there. That is not... But also, that's like a purely me thing. Like, I am just completely and totally opposed to repeating content. I love doing raid content. I love figuring them out. I love killing them really fast. And then I never want to do them again. I want to do like up to a 25, or what used to be a 25, like 15, 16, 17, 18 in a dungeon, to where it's like fun and you're figuring out damage patterns and stops and stuff like that, optimizing. And then it's like, once you do 98% of the optimizing, I'm just going to skip the last 2% where you just deplete keys and run into the problem of doing the same dungeons over and over again. Like, at a certain point, it just gets old. And it's usually around those numbers where I'm like, could I keep doing this and go higher? Yeah, but like, why though? I'm not that addicted to the game anymore. I'm just that's when it crosses the fun threshold of just playing other games. That's how WoW is for me. WoW for me, a new WoW patch is still better than any game for me. Here's the fun meter, right? New WoW patch, it's like up here, and then you're doing the raid, Race World first. Yeah, Race World first is over. Okay, now I get to play my guy. All right, cool. We're gonna do some heroic viewer raids. We're gonna steal loot from all my viewers. And then we're like going to do some fucking Mythic Plus. Woo, I'm playing a class really like, okay, maybe an little fun. Okay, too many aspect crests to farm. Let's not do that. Go back down. And then it's like, okay, now I've done every dungeon on Mythic Plus above a current 15 or 16 like 10 times. And it's like minor optimizations and I've already kind of figured out how to play it. And then the fun goes down to like here. And it's very simple. The best game I could be playing besides WoW is always at like a pretty static this level. So every season, I'm like, fuck yeah, woo, I'm playing WoW. Look at me, I'm just fucking doing it. And then it's like, oh, wait, this is old. And as soon as that happens, it's like, I'm going to play other games for 3 months. And then the new season comes back out, and then it's more fun again, and then I come back to WoW. I'm telling you, guys, if you haven't tried it, this is by far the most enjoyable way to play this game. Like, this is the way you play WoW, and every time you stop playing it, you don't like slander devs on the internet and like be mad. This is like, bro, you're permanently happy if you do this. Or what you can do, and this does go hard, is you can just imagine that other games don't exist. And instead of that other game line being there, you just keep sending it down the whole road of the WoW season. And then right around this point, the Twitter trend starts where people are like, WoW fucking sucks, huh? It's because they're just doing this on purpose. Bro, just play another game for like just a couple weeks and you'll be fucking chilling. Do you know how weird it is to like play a game, enjoy it, and then stop? Or keep playing it but then hate it and like actively tweet and comment on how much you hate it rather than just like doing anything else? Or quitting and then having the game that you quit and enjoyed at one point now occupy your mind negatively instead of just like doing literally anything else. Like, why would you ever think about a game after you stop playing it? Wouldn't you just you would just have to just do something other than that, right? What is it? You should see how mad Reddit is about the delay Mythic Plus release for Heroic Week. I mean, that was kind of assumed it would be the case, but I mean, I do understand. Like, if you are someone who Mythic Pluses, that is what you do in this game. You don't really care about raid. You don't care about the casual shit. You like doing Mythic Plus dungeons. Why wouldn't you be mad? Basically, you're just getting your season 1 week later than everyone else, right? Especially if you're a degenerate Mythic Pluser. And what I mean by a degenerate is like someone who doesn't have a job and they play games all day, every day. They either live with their parents or for whatever reason, they just have a ton of time. I was a degenerate for a long time. Shout out degens. I'm not looking down on you. That's the lifestyle. I get it. But So like those people who do Mythic Plus are gonna be super mad. I even think people who enjoy Mythic Plus but have something to do during the day, I actually think those people would like the thing, because like the alternative of heroic raid and uncapped Mythic Plus just being available right away is like such a massive power jump that anyone who can't play all day every day is gonna feel left behind, and I feel like that isn't good for the majority of people who play WoW, or even the majority of people who play Mythic Plus. But people who play it all the time, I think those people are certainly going to be mad, and it would make sense for them to be mad because it's just you're delaying your content, right? What is it? Couldn't they just super cap the eye level from Mythic Plus the first week? That's what they did before. So they used to cap Mythic Plus at a +7, but now a +7 is below what a Mythic 0 is in the new system. So they just have Mythic 0. So actually you're able to do higher content than you ever used to be able to do with capped Mythic Plus. But I heard something that apparently they nerfed Mythic Plus eye level though, or Mythic 0 eye level. Is that true? What is actually, do they have this here? Where's Mythic 0? It says Heroic Raid, Mythic Raid. Where's Mythic 0? Mythic 0's veteran gear? Not even champ? Wait, where does, he pulled up the thing not too long ago. So, Mythic 0 is veteran 4. And then 2, so you'd get 593. I mean, yeah, that's pretty fucking bad.